Welcome to the Cold War Trump 2.0. This is your host, Sophia Z. Sloan, in today's episode, where we take a deep dive into one of the most consequential legal battles in the history of American higher education. Harvard University's fight to defend academic freedom against sweeping federal intervention by the Trump administration.
In a stunning move that has shaken the academic world, President Donald Trump's administration recently froze federal funding to Harvard University, igniting one of the most high-profile standoffs between a sitting U.S. president and a higher education institution in modern history. This isn't just another policy dispute, it's a battle for the soul of American academia.
The current legal battle, Harvard versus Trump. In April 2025, the Trump administration froze more than $2.2 billion in federal grants and contracts to Harvard University after the school refused to comply with a list of government demands. These demands included ending diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, imposing stricter discipline on campus protesters, and allowing federal audits of academic programs and hiring practices.
And Harvard isn't backing down. The flashpoint funding freeze over political compliance. Harvard, citing the university's refusal to meet a series of controversial demands. These demands included dismantling diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, banning pro-Palestinian student organizations, restricting international student admissions, and allowing federal authorities to audit university policies and finances. The administration framed these moves as necessary to combat what it calls ideological extremism.
Harvard's leadership, led by President Alan Garber, responded with a firm refusal, arguing that the government's actions exceed its lawful authority and infringe on the university's independence and constitutional rights. Harvard's stance is not just about protecting its own interests. The university's refusal to comply has emboldened other institutions and set the stage for a legal showdown that could reach the Supreme Court.
Harvard's pushback academic freedom under siege. Harvard, led by interim President Alan Garber, wasted no time in fighting back. Garber issued a public statement defending Harvard's commitment to freedom of inquiry and academic self-governance, calling the administration's conditions an unacceptable infringement on institutional independence. Beyond press releases, Harvard faculty are taking legal action. A group of professors, backed by the American Association of University Professors, filed lawsuits against the Trump administration, arguing that the funding freeze violates constitutional protections, including the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech and the separation of powers doctrine. In these lawsuits, Harvard's legal team asserts that no administration, regardless of political leaning, should wield federal funds as a weapon to control or punish intellectual institutions. If this strategy goes unchecked, the chilling effect on higher education could be devastating.
As Harvard's lawyers put it, neither Harvard nor any other private university can allow itself to be taken over by the federal government. Historical context of academic freedom in American universities. Academic freedom has long been a cornerstone of American higher education. The principle was first articulated in the early 20th century, most notably in the 1915 Declaration of Principles by the American Association of University Professors. This declaration established that universities must be free from outside interference, whether from government, donors, or other external forces, in order to pursue truth and foster open inquiry.
Harvard's fight is not just Harvard's alone, it's a symbolic front line for every college and university in the United States. If this new political strategy proves successful, no institution will be safe from ideological control. From public universities dependent on government grants to private colleges rooted in academic tradition, all would risk becoming tools of political conformity rather than bastions of free thought. Here's why universities must stand together.
Current challenges to academic freedom. Today, academic freedom faces unprecedented challenges. The Trump administration's actions against Harvard are part of a broader campaign targeting elite universities, often justified as efforts to combat anti-Semitism or Marxist influence on campus. Demands include eliminating DEI programs, screening international students for political views, and even threatening universities' tax-exempt status. These moves have sent shockwaves through academia. Many fear that if Harvard loses this battle, it will set a precedent for government overreach into every aspect of university life, from research funding to curriculum, hiring, and student discipline. The stakes are high. The outcome could determine whether American universities remain independent centers of free thought or become subject to political control.
If one administration can coerce compliance through financial blackmail, future administrations, regardless of party, will likely follow suit. The question this battle forces us to ask is sobering. Are we educating future leaders or indoctrinating them? In an era where information is power, universities have a moral obligation to resist government overreach and preserve the space for debate, diversity, and discovery. Harvard's refusal to cave is setting an example, but it can't win this fight alone. Universities nationwide must reject fear and stand firm, making it clear that academic freedom is not negotiable.
Harvard's refusal to comply has already inspired other universities to push back, and the case is drawing support from across the academic world. Former President Barack Obama praised Harvard's stand as a defense of academic freedom, while legal experts say the case could set a precedent for all American higher education. As Harvard's legal battle unfolds, the university is betting everything on the rule of law and the enduring principle that academic freedom is essential to the pursuit of truth and the health of American democracy.
The Trump administration's unprecedented challenge to Harvard is more than a policy disagreement. It's a defining moment for the future of American education. Harvard is showing backbone, and so must every institution that values the role of higher education in a free society. If this stand succeeds, it won't just safeguard Harvard's independence, it will secure the future of academic freedom for generations.
As the legal battle between Harvard and the Trump administration moves forward, the eyes of the academic world and the nation are watching closely. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into Harvard's fight for academic freedom. Stay tuned for updates as this historic case unfolds. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me create more content like this. Thank you for listening. This is your host, Sophia Z. Sloan. See you in the next episode.